Hey everyone, I've put 16 hours so far in the early access game Lens Island and I've become a master crafter, prolific farmer and dungeon delver all in the same game. And I died. Quite a lot actually. In this video, I will tell you why Lens Island is such an amazing game. If you enjoy indie games content like this, please subscribe, like the video, leave a comment for the algorithm, it really helps and means a lot. In this review, I'm going to take you along on a journey. A journey in which we start washed up at the beach and we end up getting rich using automated irrigation systems. Let's get the basics out of the way first, the options. Not too many of them. Overall graphics settings, shadows, VSync, resolution options and no key binding. If that's really an issue, no keybinds, you might want to wait until that is implemented. According to the devs, that should be soon next year. It is high on the priority list. With that out of the way, let's focus on the game. You start as a total nobody and you arrive on this island using a small boat. There is a chest with some basic gear you can use to gather initial resources: stone, copper, limestone and wood. Using those resources, you build your first home and a workbench used to research and craft new weapons and tools. Initially, it is not hard to gather the resources, as you can find everything and more on the island itself. At the start, the gathering takes a while, because you're using crappy tools and need to do a lot of manual actions. But over time, you get access to more powerful gear and tools, making your gathering life a lot easier. By exploring, you will not only find the 4 resources I mentioned, but also several flowers, berries, pieces of glass and salvaged gears, all required to get more and more upgrades. After playing for a while, however, you realize you need other resources as well, mainly large quantities of iron and salvaged gears. Those are not readily available in the safe surroundings of the island, where there aren't even monsters roaming about. In order to get consistent iron veins to mine, you need to go underground, into the caves below the island. Using an opening in a valley, you gain access to the underground area, which is pitch black and monsters are roaming there in large quantities. Going there is rather dangerous, and the deeper you venture into the depths, the more difficult monsters you encounter. It starts relatively easy with smaller creatures and critters, but ramps up quickly to massive monsters, electrical worms frying you alive, and ultimately a final boss tucked away in the deep reaches of this cave. You are not ready for such an adventure anytime soon. You need way more upgrades. You could try and delve deeper without much preparation to get those precious resources, but it is a gamble, because if you die, everything you looted down here is lost and you awaken your home empty-handed. There is another way to get iron and salvaged gears, a much safer way. You can buy them as well for money in the town north of the island after you repaired the bridge to grant you access to this part of the map. The town harbors a bunch of merchants and they take your goods for a reasonable price. I discovered that mainly flowers sell for a lot of money. Instead of delving into the mines and dying, I decided to become a full-time flower dude. By cutting down trees and plants for wooden fiber, I could make wooden farm frames, which are filled with fertile ground in which you can cultivate plants. So I did. I put around 10 of those down, planted the flowers I collected from the island, and watered the patches when they were dry. The yields are significant. I started expanding, not only cultivating flowers for the money, but also pumpkins, watermelons and grapes for consumption. You see, over time you get hungry and you lose stamina and ultimately health, and pumpkins are a good way to keep your stamina up. Grapes restore a lot of health, which turned out to be invaluable later when I returned to the underground cave system. I kept expanding and expanding, using all the money I made to buy bigger bags so I could carry more flowers, so I could make more money. I bought iron and I bought salvaged gears and upgraded my workstations multiple times until I could make a water pump and a windmill. This allowed me to fully automate the flower growing business when I combined these two structures with a water pump. Before, I had to manually water all of the plants, which was tedious work, but also rewarding in terms of money. After enough labor, the system is now completely automated, and the flower business has turned into passive income. These things grow even when I'm out dungeon crawling, yielding a significant sum of money when I return. The two systems cater to the multiple audiences that the developers are targeting. The more casual player can go ham on farming and house building, because most of the resources required can be purchased with gold. Even very good gear can be directly bought from the various vendors in town, ranging from pirate equipment to exquisite wares. It is a very viable strategy. You can make as much money as you want and, using your farming skills, get completely overpowered to make the journey to the more dangerous parts of the island. However, it is maybe not the most efficient method, as buying resources is expensive. There is a price, quite literally, for scarce resources. You would be better off getting them yourself, perhaps. You can, if you're willing to risk it. The most important thing here is to simply be prepared for the dungeon and know when to stop delving further. You should carry plenty of food items to heal up in tough battles. You need a good weapon, one you enjoy playing with. There is a surprising amount of depth to the various weapons, by the way. It is not just a bunch of skins, but there are stats, attack patterns, critical hitboxes, and several unique abilities that come with each weapon type. Whether you enjoy sword and board with active blocking or a more ranged playstyle, it is all possible. The dungeon itself packs some surprises as well. At first, everything sort of looks the same. You mine some iron, some coal and some stone. You can use the coal to light various torches down here and lamps to illuminate the darkness. The lighting is so well made, by the way. Just look at how cinematic this is. Every time I walk around here, I'm in awe by how the lighting is implemented, ranging from the fires to the monsters with their blue antennas, like those deep dwellers on the bottom of the ocean, those anglerfish. It's great. There's no minimap down here, so you need to remember the way by using landmarks. There's a real sense of exploration, something that not many games provide anymore these days. On top of that, exploration is rewarded. The dungeon has plenty of secrets hidden away in corners via jumping puzzles or after defeating tough enemies. Some of the best gear in the game is hidden in the extensive cave system. There's even a secret passage into the caves itself, which you uncover after delving very deep. Along the way, you keep lighting torches and light sources, you keep restoring older bridges and even an elevator, and slowly but surely you get the hang of combat, until you reach the ultimate monster at the end of the line. You better have some decent gear to take this guy down, but once you do, you will be handsomely rewarded. For now, at least, this is the end of the dungeon in the current version of Early Access. The very best gear in the game is only available when doing the dungeon, like I said. So if you want that for yourself, you need to try it out. It is fun though. If you're content with just farming, you will have a great time too with this game. There are already quite a few decoration options for your house. It is not an aspect I focused on for now personally, but I'm sure there are community members creating amazing homes. The tools are certainly there. I just created a simple functional place, but even I feel the need already to go out, farm more stuff and make a much bigger and prettier house. Everything I told you about Lens Island is accompanied by, in my opinion, beautiful visuals. The sunset with the god rays are just so appealing. It never rains either on the island. Maybe in the future it will. The soundtrack is uplifting and well written, boasting amazing songs that fit the game perfectly. You can build a gramophone in your house to listen to them while you are chilling and enjoying the view even. Honestly, there is very little to not love about this game, and it's only in early access. How crazy is that? Imagine all of this being just the very solid foundation for features much more intricate and even more interesting than the ones currently on display. It's a great outlook, and the whole situation reminds me of Valheim coming out in early access with similar features, being a similar game. The Steam users agree, by the way, scoring the game so far with a 92% rating. Because it's early access, there are future plans, of course. I couldn't find an official roadmap, but in Discord posts from the devs it becomes clear that key binding is a priority for early next year, as well as optimizing the game and further bug fixing. The bugs I encountered so far were solved very fast, which is promising. In 2022, the plan is to hire more devs and really start expanding on this solid foundation, adding more content to the game. Some placeholders are already there, like a house in the village for sale, a massive fishing spot for a future friend, or more dungeon content. I'm sure plenty of other features will be added as well. If you are even remotely interested in crafting and building games with very light survival mechanics and surprisingly interesting and well fleshed out combat, then give Lens Island a try. It is worth it and you won't regret it. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe. You won't regret that either. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. See you soon. Love you all. Bye bye.